Good evening to all. How's everybody doing? Testing, testing. Is the audio good? Testing, testing. Is the audio good? Good evening to all. How's everybody doing? Share this video, like the video, share the video, like the video, and share the video and like the video. I will be giving you guys an update as we speak right now, as soon as possible, as you guys share more video, and let's get more people on this live stream so we can share the information wide and spread the information all over the place. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News. We are live in south of the border in Tapachula, Chiapas. And let me just flip the camera so I can explain to you guys what is going on. And then I will flip the camera back to basically to there we go. Here we go. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News. We are live from south of the border of Tapachula, Chiapas. As we have documented for years now, the massive caravans that they have come out of the south of the border of our country of Mexico in direction to the United States of America. You guys are not going to believe this, but a caravan, it is right now formulating and it is being orchestrated and created to leave on the 5th of November, on the day that American citizens will be voting on the most important elections in the United States history. On that day, a massive caravan it is going to leave in direction to the United States of America. The speculation of the quantities of this massive caravan goes on beyond 5,000 people. Right now, beyond 5,000 people. The entities are from Venezuela, Central America, and also parts of Haiti and parts of Africa. You have a lot of people that they are going to leave on this day. This is the catastrophe and this is the crisis that Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, and Alejandro Mayorkas have created. On Tuesday, it will be my 12th caravan walking in history that I have documented and walked. Under the Trump administration, I only walked one caravan, and that got immediately dissolved 8 hours from it started. Now, you have another massive caravan that is going to leave. And with this, it will be 11 caravans that I have documented and walked under the Biden administration. This tells you the enormous disaster that this administration has caused. The administration where more migrants have died in the limitations of Mexico, the United States of America. The administration where the cartel has grown so much that they have control of every border. And they're manipulating the authorities, and also they are labeling migrants, putting them rubber bands and hiding them on several particular warehouses where they hide them and go adelante, where they go ahead and they ultimately traffic them and they abuse them so they can, be basically, a lot of them they're raped, a lot of them they're extortion, a lot of them they get lost. This is under the Biden administration, nobody else. This is under their administration. This is under their hands. And because of the cartel that it has grown so much, it is so difficult to control them. And now you have another massive caravan leaving on the 5th of November when you guys are going to be voting for the next election. Let me just walk right here. This is going to be the epicenter, as you guys have seen. Guys that have been with me in the past, you guys have seen this epicenter of this park. This is where the migrants leave. You have, a spread of migrants. You have almost like 100 migrants that they're basically staying right here at this particular park. And this is where they stay. But on Tuesday, they will be leaving early in the morning. So let us just walk so you guys can see how the current situation is. Buy me a coffee. It is pinned right there in the chat. If you guys like to contribute to my independent reporting and travel fund, buy me a coffee. It is right there pinned in the chat. It is greatly appreciated if you guys support our travel fund. So this is the current situation. This is the way it looks. This is the current situation. That's the way it is. People are sleeping on the floor. As we have documented before, and as we have done before, this is the epicenter where the caravan launches. We have seen this park being filled with thousands of people that they're leaving on this ideology of this American dream, of this understanding that they can achieve arriving to the United States of America, and they can achieve to arrive and enter. The majority of these people, they do not want to be here. They don't want to be here. They don't want to wait for the CBP app. They don't want to wait for the CBP app that it was created by the Biden-Harris administration. This app that is basically a fast forward and a fast pass to enter into the United States of America due to an internet app that you will put basically your information, and you can actually put there that you are running away from fear, and you will cross. You will have a legitimate court date with an immigration officer. The immigration officer entering with this CBP app, it is going to tell the immigrant or the migrant, we don't have space right now. Come back in 4 years. Come back in 3 years. Come back in whatever time. And that will give you a flooding of people that they are waiting and they're undocumented in the United States. You're talking about millions of people that they have used this CBP app. So due to this factor, what the Kamala Harris and Biden administration have done, so they knew that this massive mass migration was going to come. They knew that this massive flooding was going to come. And they knew that this massive flooding was going to come in the days before the election. So 3 months before the election, Kamala Harris gave permission and talked to the Mexican authorities so they can move the CBP-1 app all the way to south of the border of Tapachula. Get to understand, people, the CBP-1 app was not working in Tapachula, Chiapas. The only place where it was working, it was all the way to the center parts of the country of Mexico, in the city of Mexico, was all the way over there. So now you have the Kamala Harris moving the CBP-1 app all the way to Tapachula, Chiapas. Why? Because she wanted to create a deterrent for people to not move massively into the United States of America, and so they can stay put in the south border so they will not create a scandal and people will not make a run for it. This strategy backfired to the Biden-Harris administration. Why? Because in the past month, just in the past month, 3 caravans have been created. These 3 caravans, the first one was 600 people. The second one was 800 people. And the third one was just a couple of weeks ago. It was almost 2,500 people that they started walking in their direction to the north borders. Why? Because the CBP-1 app has collapsed in the south of the border and has been collapsing in every border that connects to the United States of America and the north borders with Mexico and the United States. So this tells you that because it has been collapsing in the CBP-1 app, has been collapsing inside of the border of Tapachula, the majority of the migrants are saying, we don't want to wait for the CBP-1 app anymore in Tapachula. We just want to keep moving forward, and we just want to go as we go. And we have asked several migrants, what are your intentions if you're going to wait for this application to continue, for this application to basically work? And if it works or if it doesn't work, are you going to stay or are you going to wait? A lot of them, they say, we don't know if we're going to wait. We don't know if we're going to enter irregularly or illegally the country of the United States. But if we have a possibility to enter irregularly or illegally or illicitly or whatever part, and they accept us under the claims of refugee and asylum, we will enter. But if not, we will wait for the CBP-1 app. This due to the fact that a lot of the migrants do not know the posture of every political candidate that is happening right now in the United States, which is Kamala Harris. It is an advocate for continuing this mass migration with open borders and having the global compact on migration in the United States of America, which tells you that migrants or individuals can arrive to a non-port of entry into the United States and enter illicitly into the country of the United States under the claim of asylum and refugee. You have to show credible fear that a lot of these migrants are economical migrants and they do not qualify for refugee and asylum, which a lot of them they kept, a lot of them they return, a lot of them they don't go to court, they don't return to court. And this tells you the massive irregularities with this application that the Biden-Harris administration has created, that has been a complete failure and a complete catastrophe. This administration has been the most cynical, hypocritical, and has been the administration where more migrants have died under the limitations between Mexico and the United States of America. This is just basically the consequence of not creating a pathway, of not telling Mexico, you know what, you cannot be doing this. You cannot be allowing this. Under the Trump administration, he had a threat of a tariff, which it will tell you that because of this threat of a tariff, the Mexican government was forced to basically dismantle caravans that they were created. securing borders, and ultimately the authorities were forced to do their jobs. As cynical and as funny as it sounds, this threat of a tariff, the businessman, the big, the big names, the big manufacturing companies, the big automobile manufacturing companies, because remember, President Trump put a threat of a tariff to the automobile industry, the avocado and beer. So the manufacturing companies, the big monsters, Chevrolet, Mazda, Nissan, Ford, they are in Mexico. So a lot of these businessmen were like, you're going to charge us 5%. That is going to be a lot of money. You're going to hit the lower middle class families. This is going to be a big problem. So immediately they sent a message to the past president, and they fixed this crisis and they fixed this problem because of that threat of a tariff. Biden came in and he took away that threat of a tariff. They took away the stay in Mexico policies, took away all these policies, and it opened up for a lot of irregularities and the mass migration, as you guys have seen. Also, Biden brought back the global compact on migration, and this is the reason why. So there's two sides of the story. If you are for Kamala Harris, this disaster of immigration and people continuously risking their lives, continuously living like this in these conditions on a park, it is going to continue. If you are an advocate for Donald Trump, the global compact on migration is going to completely disappear. It is not going to be part of the United States of America. It is not going to be part of the sovereignty of the United States of America. Donald Trump has said the global compact on migration does not align with the American principles, does not align with the American principles of immigration. This is the number one reason why, a lot of the migrants, they do not understand what politically it is going on to the United States and what politically is going to happen on the 5th of November and what can drastically change. So right now you have this massive caravan of 5,000 people that is going to leave. As funny as it sounds, it is going to leave on the 5th of November. Meanwhile, American citizens are voting. Meanwhile, American citizens are exercising their constitutional right. Meanwhile, American citizens are worried about the policies and the situation that is economically destroying inflation, insecurity, the gender ideology, all this gender disaster that has completely divided and completely taken away the family values and family, principles. The falling apart, staying away from God, principles, and the schools just completely being run by Marxist teachers and all this kind of stuff. But while Americans are waiting, worried about that, this massive caravan, it is going to continually happen. Real America's Voice News, bringing you the reality and truth of the news, like always, like I have always done, walked in caravans. This will be my 12th caravan walking on the south of the border, showing you the reality and truth of the news of what is actually happening for every single one of you. Be sure to be watching our network. Be sure to be watching the War Room with Steve Bannon. God bless his heart. Steve Bannon has always been right for people that are watching. So God bless, God bless everybody that is watching. Be sure to be watching Real America's Voice News and every single broadcast of Real America's Voice News. That is, in a nutshell, the explanation of what is actually happening right now. You have a lot of migrants that also, the majority of the migrants entered Venezuela. A lot of them, this disaster of elections that they just had, of Maduro stealing the election, has pushed people to migrate massively through these particular circumstances in these particular areas, and has pushed people to migrate consistently and massively through these. Now you have a lot of mass migration to the part of Brazil, to the part of Pacaraima, that is a border that is on the southeast of the border of Venezuela with Brazil. Now you have a lot of migrants from Venezuela migrating over there. Also, you have migrants that they're migrating still through the Darien Gap. You have now the speculated number of the authorities of Panama that just released until the month of September. You have 274,000 migrants that they have crossed the Darien Jungle from Colombian territory into basically Panama, and from Panama to Costa Rica, and that is the collateral effect of mass migration from South America into Central America, and so on and so on and so on. So for people that are watching, how's everybody doing? Massive caravan that is about to leave on Tuesday. We are going to be broadcasting for you guys live. We're going to be broadcasting for every single one of you guys live from today, as I'm doing right now. And ultimately, also, we're going to be broadcasting tomorrow, Sunday. Also, on Monday, we're going to be live in doing hits with our network, Real America's Voice News, bringing you guys the epicenter of this mass migration and disaster that Kamala Harris and Biden has created. And also, on the day of the departure on Tuesday, when everybody's going to be busy on the elections, it is such a destabilized manner. You have people worried about what is going to happen of an elections, if it is going to be an election integrity, is there's going to be election transparency, if this election it is going to be completely transparent, completely cleared, completely honest. You have a lot of people worried about that, but also you have the factor that another caravan, a massive caravan, it is going to be created, inside of the border. A lot of people ask this question: if they leave on if they leave on Tuesday, that it will be November 5th. How long of the time will they take them to arrive to the northern borders? It takes them around 2 to 3 weeks. It depends on what kind of circumstance and transportation that they take, and that is uh, basically the current situation with the geographics in terms to that. We don't know, because a lot of them they choose to be smuggled, they choose to ride with the organized crime, they choose to do all this kind of stuff. They choose different kinds of situations and different kinds of transportations. This is the reality right now. The reality is that there's a speculated number. They're saying that it's 5,000 people. That is the number that they're managing right now of people that they're going to leave on Tuesday. That is a massive caravan. I have been in caravans. The massive one was the one that it was 13,000 people walking. That was incredible, and it was shocking to see that. I have been in caravans also 10,000, 8,000, 6,000. This is massive also. It is 5,000 people walking at the same moment, at the same pace, and walking at the same time. Now, there has been a speculation that authorities are going to try to stop this and going to try to dissolve this caravan, which tells you that there's possibly going to be a confrontation. What is a confrontation? National Guard trying to stop them. I have been in this kind of confrontations. It is not pretty. I'm gonna tell you the scenario. It is not good at all. You have migrants confronting the National Guard, going one-on-one with National Guard. National Guard only has shields and batons for them to defend themselves. The migrants will throw rocks, will throw kind of every kind of obstacle for them to just move forward, and for them to cross every barrier and cross every particular checkpoint for them to get to another checkpoint and another checkpoint and another checkpoint. It is not a scene that you want to see, because there's a lot of children being involved. Of course, the majority is military-age men, but you have a lot of children that they are involved, and you have a lot of children that massively are going to be affected by this, when you're in a confrontation of this kind of situations. So until now, this is the informative report that I can tell you. Another caravan being formulated on the south of the border. Going to be walking soon. We are in Tapachula. Let me flip the camera so I can say hello to everybody. Where's the camera? Where's the front camera? There we go. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice. It's nice to say hello to you guys from south of the border. As always, bringing you guys the reality and truth of the news like no other network. Bringing you guys the current situation over here. As American citizens, they're going to be busy, basically voting, and they're going to be busy knowing what is going to happen to their country on the most important elections in American history. And a caravan is being created. This is the craziest thing about it, that on election day, a caravan, it is going to leave, and it is not going to be just 200, 300 people. It is going to be about around 5,000 people. And you're talking about that this is a massive group of people trying to move forward and get to the United States of America and make a run for it. Now, this is the other situation. Let's look at the two scenarios. Let's see the number one scenario. That is, what will happen if Kamala Harris becomes the next president of the United States? God forbid, but what will happen? If that will be the scenario, let me just tell you, there's going to be a massive flooding of people that they're going to come in the next incoming days. And that is going to be, I'm just telling you, it is going to be massive. This is why the Panamanian government has already prepared. The Panamanian government has already put sanctions and fining and already put a fine for people that they're moving through the jungle illicitly and irregularly, not entering to the particular checkpoints inside of the jungle. So they already put a fine because they're already preparing if the left wins again in the United States of America. Also, they're doing massive deportations. They're not going to be able to take this. But if the other upper, if the the opposite, the opposition wins, that is Donald Trump, this will be a complete drastic change. Caravans will be dissolved. There's going to be people that they're going to be keeping coming, but it is going to be a trickle effect. It is going to be a domino effect. A lot of people are going to be enforcing the law. Now, a lot of people are going to be enforcing immigration law. A lot of people are going to give the power. Countries, third world class countries, are going to give the power to immigration officers to say, no, this is not the port of entry. No, you cannot enter like this. But it is going to have an effect, and the effect that is going to be that the organized crime and the cartel are not going to go away easy. They are going to say, you know what, we're going to keep on pushing because the Biden administration has opened, sadly, the window for this. And the window that they have opened, it is that the organized crime has taken control of borders, smuggling checkpoints, and ultimately the enormous trafficking of children, enormous trafficking of women. That this has been a complete disaster on every border, has been a complete disaster on every country, and also has been a complete humanitarian business for the organized crime, for these NGOs, that they are making millions and millions of dollars. And this is not a lie. I'm being legitimately honest about this. All these NGOs that they're on this mode operandi in the borders with the United States and Mexico, they're making millions of dollars because of this global compact on migration. The United Nations has their proxies, and their proxies are these NGOs that they're making millions of dollars. Catholic Charities, all these NGOs, No More Debts, all these ACLUs, all these people, they're making millions and millions and millions of dollars out of this humanitarian crisis. Meanwhile, people are dying. These people are making millions out of crossing people under CBP-1 apps, under claims of asylum and refugee. This has become a huge, huge business, not only for the cartel, but for these proxies that they're NGOs that just to be clear, they haven't audited not a single one. Nobody knows what they're doing with the money. Nobody knows where the money is going to. Nobody knows where these children are going to. Nobody knows where these children are heading to. This is why you have 300 and plus thousand children that are missing in the United States of America. This is the number one problem, the global compact of migration. God bless you all. Buy me a coffee. It is right there, pinned in the chat for people that want to donate and contribute to my independent reporting and travel fund. Tomorrow, I will be live right here from this particular park, and also I will be live from different locations, bringing you guys more information about this massive caravan that is going to leave again. This will be my 12th one walking. It is not my first rodeo. It has been, I've been around these caravans for quite some time. And that, we have earned our respect down here in the south of the border with all these journalists that come from all parts of the world, and specifically the journalists that they are basically from here, the locals. And we have created a friendship, a relationship, which means, the confidence to come over here and do our work with ethic, responsibility, and also with honesty, first and foremost. But we are here again to bring to the American people the reality of what is going to happen. And we are going to be broadcasting for you guys live in the next incoming days. Also, the most important thing, be sure to be watching our network, Real America's Voice News. Go over there and follow our pages and follow every single website and follow all the pages on Real America's Voice News. Be sure to be watching it and be sure to be in there, continuously watching those our pages in Real America's Voice News. God bless you all. Stay safe. And like we always say, people, God's plan, it is our mission. Oh, before I go, buy me a coffee. It is right there, pinned in the chat. I will greatly appreciate you guys' contributions and help so we can continue our broadcast during this week. Stay safe. God's plan is our mission.